I'll start with this. I train a lot of mortgage originators as well as real estate agents on how to efficiently complete transactions where it benefits the most clients that we provide service to. And there's no transaction that's going on when you buy real estate that would not need an insurance policy. Unless you're buying a land, raw land, usually everything else requires hazard insurance, which we call HOI. And so we're constantly looking for a insurance agency or broker who can best facilitate the transaction in terms of price and efficiency. So your company is one of those that I thought very well positioned to provide best services. And that's why a lot of my mortgage originators using you for the services. So tell me about yourself and tell why do you think everybody is choosing you as opposed to the competition?
Yes, my name is Simon Barayev. I'm working with Greater Atlanta Insurance since 2014 and been licensed in business since 1997. So the reason I think I should be chosen over the competition is, number one, we are knowledgeable. We can look after the client's interest. We represent more than one carrier at the time. Most of the time, our competition are captive markets, which means client can only see one policy, one quote at the time. With us, we can compare 7 or 8 different carriers and provide best quote for the customer. In this case, you as a mortgage professional or a real estate broker win by presenting the best option to your customer. As far as the business professionals, our relationship, I think mortgage brokers, real estate professionals win because they get immediate response, a lot of times after hours response, and the best quote possible. And you always get a phone number of Simon, which will answer almost right away or call almost right away, compared to the 1-800-NO-HELP agencies where you call to some company and they're after hours, and each time you call you get a different agent and you don't really know who you're dealing with. So if you're closing transaction and you need to get it done fast, would you be putting yourself in a situation to deal with somebody like that? Or if you're a client and you need to get closed fast, and you want to develop a relationship with somebody that would be looking over all of your policies, and we have that, we can do all of insurance needs for you at one place.
Okay, great. So let's dissect a little more about that. So we have 2 sets of professionals. We have a real estate professionals, and then we have also consumers, the clients, whether it's a real estate purchaser or whether it's a mortgage borrower. We have clients and we have professionals. Now, when we're talking to our clients and we're talking to our buyers and borrowers, what kind of hesitation they have when they contact insurance agent or broker like you, what concerns they have and how you suggest to overcome?
Yeah, most of the time, the concerns they would have is they don't know if they can trust you. So another concern is they concerned that maybe you can sell them more than what they need. A lot of times I don't get any of those concerns because I work through the word of referral. And for many years, if I get a phone call, right away I get trusted because people that referred me, they said, whatever Simon says, do it.
That's true.
And the same with mortgage brokers or real estate agents. When they develop a relationship with the customer, they are trusted by the customer. And if they say Simon is good, in our case, then customers automatically trust us. And we, therefore, have a higher responsibility to do our best possible job to provide them the best policy, to educate them so that in the future, they will not be one of those unhappy customers in the industry that create stories, horror stories, like they've been ripped off by insurance companies, so they had a bad experience. The only reason that happens is because they were not educated up front, and they were not, taken care of by the professional that would give them a proper endorsements in their policy that would take care of their needs and will not give them insufficient policy or something that would not, cover. And that's why people get in trouble.
Great. Now, as you know, in the mortgage industry, we quite often receive underwriting guidelines that they require to tweak the insurance policy to match one or different bank, whichever bank we take to, very unique policies. And sometimes as professionals, we have to reach out to the insurance broker for those changes and declaration pages. And, we are a lot of under time constraint because usually this is the last touch that the underwriters do, and we need to close tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And we're getting a lot of insurance brokerage firms that are responding 24 to 48 hours after we request the declaration. How are you handling this situation to expedite and help meet the deadlines that every loan originator has?
Yeah, basically, one of my secrets in the business, if any business professionals listening to me in my field, in insurance field, I put everything aside. If I get phone call or email from Mark, Top Money Mortgage, for example, I would put everything aside and will make it my priority because I know people are out there waiting for my quote and they need to close. And for that, it's a chain of different people coming together at the same time, making transaction smooth and fast and easy. So I understand I'm part of that chain. So my goal is to provide the quote fastest way possible, the best price possible. And if I get come back from the office saying, could you expression of Mark, massage the numbers, I would massage them by decreasing or increasing the deductible, decreasing certain coverages. And once people close, they have understanding they can always enhance the coverage. But sometimes this is your cost of buying the house. You need to do what you need to do to make it happen.
Well, sometimes $1 will make a decision on monthly payment whether that borrower qualifies or not for the home. So when I'm talking about massaging the numbers, you can choose a higher deductible and a lower cost, and sometimes this is necessary to get through. So, being that flexible really makes a huge difference. But a lot of clients or a lot of our borrowers ask us a question, well, the broker that you're sending us, they represent insurance companies. They don't represent our interests. And how do you overcome that fear? How can you address that for my borrowers and for my clients?
Well, we are representing insurance company in the way where we get paid by them. And in the same time, we act in the best interest of our clients and make them look in the most positive way to the insurance companies in the case of the claim, for example. A lot of times I ask my clients to call me before they make a claim so we can look at the situation, make our homework, and decide to, even if we have to make a claim, and if we do, how to present it correctly to the insurance company so they don't have an unnecessary claim hanging in their claim history, which might hurt in the long run.
Great. Now, quite often the buyers and the borrowers that we work with, they're getting a quote from the insurance agency and not necessarily your insurance agency, and then because they sometimes get 2 or 3 quotes to compare, and often enough your quotes are always better or than anybody's else. And my question to you is, how is that happen? Why others charging more for the same product where you are able to get us better deals and better policy annual premiums?
Yeah, I don't think, to be honest with you, that insurance agents are looking to make their products more expensive and to lose potential customer. When I'm dealing with a virtual client that I haven't seen and they haven't seen me, I know number one motivation going through their mind is the cost. And I know I'm competing with invisible agent or agency out there. So my goal is to look through all of my carriers and provide best possible rate, where other agencies that customers might shop with, captive agencies, they have only one product. And this is all they can provide. A lot of times they're not competitive companies. And that's the difference. It's like comparing to you, if you're a woman, you would relate to this easier. Going to the shoe store and you have only one size shoe, one color, and one style, and the shoe salesman says, "I'm sorry, I have nothing to offer you." Compared to the shoe store across the street, which has all different styles, sizes, and colors. So this is what we have to offer. We look at different companies because we're an independent agency, and we're able to provide you the best rate, the best coverage combination, and usually it's the best price too.
Awesome, and we feel that, we see it, because quite often we are asking them to go and check 2 or 3 companies, and time again they choose your company. So apparently everything works out for them going through your company. Now, the last concern that we usually have with the buyers and borrowers is that they don't understand in those liability policies that gibberish language that those declaration pages written, and they say, is this a good policy? And they're asking us to explain the insurance product, which we, loan originators or real estate agents, really not adept to fully explain and understand ourselves what's in them. So how do you work with the borrowers and the buyers in terms of explaining what the policy means?
Yeah, this is actually my strongest reason I'm in the business is education. I don't see myself as a salesman per se. I see myself as an educator, and I'm happy not just to ask customer to call me, but I'm happy to ask all of my friends, realtors and mortgage brokers that refer business to me, not to get into this business because a lot of time, and to make their job easier. A lot of times I get phone call from the customers and they say something like, well, my realtor told me this, well, my mortgage broker told me this. And this is not, it doesn't sound as bad as if they say, my uncle told me this. And I say, could you tell me who's your uncle? And they say, he's a plumber. I say, well, bakers bake, writers write, and plumbers, they can not generally give you good advice on insurance. So if you allow me to give you good advice, then I'll apply all of my over 20 years experience in insurance field and, life experience in business to be able to give you the best advice. A lot of times, even lawyers don't know what we know, with all due respect. Mark has a law education, and he can attest that just because you're studying law, you're not specializing in specific insurance field. There are different areas that people get educated, and just because person is educated doesn't mean he knows everything. He knows how to get answers, and the way he gets answers by calling us.
Absolutely. Well, and really working with right professionals in the industry and in the field, you get best results and best outcomes for the goals that every one of us set. So that's not a question. That's not an issue when working with your company. My other observation in the relationship that you and I have over the business transactions is that a lot of people would reach out to you and then they come back and say not only that they're choosing your policy, but they know that their brothers and their sisters and their friends and their partners business already have insurance with you, but they did not know, and it comes through us. So how is that working in terms of really word of mouth advertising, and how does it work for you in terms of bringing other family members into the fold, providing services through your umbrella?
Well, it's quite simple. If you saw a great movie that you felt that if you don't see this movie, then your life is not complete. Then you would go and share it with all of your friends and families, right? You would say, you got to see that movie. And this is the same thing here when it comes to something good, consumer information that you found. You would go and obviously share with your loved ones. And the question I always ask in the end of most of my transactions, I would say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, are you happy with what I've done for you? And a lot of times they say yes. And I ask them, is there any reason why you would not refer us to your friends and family members? And they say, of course not. And, we have a Google page where we recently opened. I say, would you please leave a review? So far in 1 month, we had that Google page. We have 32 5-star reviews that left by the customers. And I regret that I did not start that Google page 15 years ago when I first started. Right now would have thousands of reviews, 5-star reviews. So if you like, go on the Google page, dunwoodyinsurance.com, and you will see for yourself, read what people say. And this is the value. We would like to be a family doctor from both ends, not just to serve all of your family and understand your needs and therefore give you proper advice, but also to oversee all of your policies. I give an analogy of a doctor. If one doctor listens to your heart and another doctor, monitors your blood pressure, and they don't talk to each other, then they can probably not give you as good of advice for your health as a doctor that does it all, right? So this is what we do. We look at all of your financial situation, and working with professionals like Mark and mortgage professionals and real estate brokers, we can see exactly how to help you better. And you don't get this by dealing with one company for your auto insurance, another company for your home insurance, another company for your boat insurance, etc. So you can only get it if you're dealing with somebody like us that got everything under control and can educate you in all of those areas.
Yes, and from the professional standpoint of view, those that we teach in real estate school and in the mortgage origination school is always how to maximize transactions from one client, because earning a client is very difficult, and you have to spend years maybe cultivating and relationships, but selling more than one, doing more than one transaction with the same client just repeats the revenue, but it also shows that people trust you and come back to you. So what you are saying makes sense. And then really doing transactions in one stop and addressing all the insurance needs, because in reality, it's not just the hazard insurances for the houses that people need, but they need other things. And most of the time we know that they are happily transferring their car insurances to your company and other coverages. So how do they get that information, and how do they reach to that conclusion? Can you share?
Well, it's easy. When I'm dealing, let's say, with customer directly, right away I let them know that I do all of lines of business. And while let's say they called me initially for the home insurance only, I say, fine, I'm going to work only on the home insurance, but it'll take only a couple of minutes of your time and some more information to get me to prepare you an automobile quote, and there's no obligation, no cost for me to looking into it. See, the difference working with us is you would spend time, which is just as valuable as ours, to research other companies, maybe 15 to 30 minutes per company. Let's say most Americans out there look at 2 or 3 companies and they pat themselves on the shoulder and say, I've done my homework.
That's right.
I do for you 7 to 8 companies at least. And it doesn't take you anything but 5 to 15 minutes of your time, or sometimes even less if you email it to me. And then I provide you all of the answers. I'm the one that investing the time in researching, in cracking the numbers, comparing the companies, and you get the complete picture, prepared for you just to digest. You don't have to, spend all of your time. By the way, I've worked for years, even before pandemic, over the internet and telephone. And that saves you time, and that saves me time. We don't have to drive to each other. You can sit literally in a pajama in your home, talking to me on the phone after work hours or emailing to me and getting the quote, as opposed to a traditional approach where you would have to work 9 to 5 with your agent or agency. And a lot of times, even in those hours, if agent is busy, you get 1-800 no help transfer. With me, you always get me to call you or to pick up the phone, and you get the answers you need.
Perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much summarizes, all the benefits that we've been receiving for years from your company. And I think this is going to be very useful for all my students on everything that I heard, and be happy to share with them this video. And then we discuss exactly the hazard insurance policies and what they need to cover, and deductibles required to get the mortgages, and the speeds in terms of how we get the declaration pages and mortgagee clauses. And I know this is a lot of gibberish to regular folks, but to those who specialize in this industry, it's very important to have a partner who is there for you to answer and fill out those paperwork in timely manner so we can close on time. Thank you, Simon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mark, for your time and for years of working with you. I know anyone that ever worked with you has a pleasure. I came to Atlanta about 30 years ago, and Mark was already somebody in the real estate business.
Thank you.
When I got into the financial services business, Mark was growing and getting even more and more sides of his business, becoming a lawyer, becoming a mortgage broker. And now, it just so happened that for many years we worked with Mark as one of our top accounts, and I personally would recommend dealing with their agency 100% of the time, because they're knowledgeable and they got good products and they can truly take care of you. They got good stuff behind.
Thank you.
Behind the office stuff. So thank you so much, Mark, for your help and for everything you do for the community, for all the education you give to the community.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's mutual. You give us and we give you, and that's how we all grow together and succeed together. And that is the most important part.
Thank you so much. Stay well, everyone, and have a healthy and successful year.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you.